Hi, friends, and welcome to our ELA lesson. We are going to read a book called Which Witch is Which? Whew, that's a mouthful. We're going to make some predictions. We're going to see if we can find the main idea, and we're going to find some identifying details, okay? We're going to find some big details from this book. So, since we're not doing this as a class, I want you to stop and think. What are your predictions about this book? Go ahead and take a look at the picture. I think we could take some clues. I think we could see that this is about Sesame Street, right? I think it looks like they're dressing up and that they're all witches. So what is your prediction for this story? If you need an extra minute, go ahead and pause me, okay? Good work. Now, let's read the book, and I want you to listen your very best, okay? So listen for anything that you might stick out as the main idea or remembering any big details and to see if your predictions are correct. Are you ready? Which witch is which? It was Halloween. Listen, everybody, said Zoe. I have a terrific idea for our Halloween costumes. Let's all go dressed up as witches. Zoe's friend looked puzzled. I'll be the trick part of the trick or treat, Zoe explained. No one will be able to tell who's who because we'll all be dressed the same. That will be a good trick, said Grover. Right, said Zoe. No one will be able to tell which witch is which. Zoe, Elmo, Telly, Grover, and Harry made long black capes and pointy hats. They found frizzy fright wigs, warty noses, and brooms. And on Halloween, 5 witches went trick-or-treating. Their first stop was the Furry Arms Hotel. Trick, they said to Sherry Netherland. What about the treat, she asked. First the trick, said one of the witches. Guess which witch is Grover? Sherry pointed. Is it you? No, cried the 5 witches. Well, you sure tricked me, said Sherry, and she gave each of them a candied apple. The elephant elevator operator couldn't guess which witch was Telly, so he gave each of the witches a bag of peanuts. The 5 witches tried their trick up and down Sesame Street, but no one could guess which witch was Telly, or Grover, or Zoe, or Elmo, or Harry. Their trick-or-treat bags were getting heavier and heavier. This is the best Halloween ever, said Zoe, swirling her cape. Harry and Telly laughed in a cackling, witchy way. Elmo and Grover pretended they were riding their brooms. Their next stop was Oscar's trash can. Trick, they cried. What kind of trick? Oscar asked from under the lid. Guess which witch is Harry, said the 5 witches. That's easy, said Oscar. Let me see your feet. Oscar guessed which witch was the big blue feet was Harry. Grover's the one with the little blue feet, he said. Bright pink feet, that's Telly. The little red feet belong to Elmo, and that leaves one witch with orange feet, who must be Zoe. You're right, said the 5 witches. Well, grouches are grouchy but very smart, said Oscar. Now I don't have to give you a treat. Aw, come on, Oscar, complained the 5 witches. Grumble all you want, said Oscar. It's music to my ears. Just remember that it's trick or treat, not trick and treat. Right again, said the 5 witches, and began to walk away. Okay, wait, Oscar called after them. I've changed my mind. He disappeared inside his trash can and returned with a platter of little sandwiches. Here's your treat, he said, but first I have a trick for you. Guess which sandwich is which? Do you have any peanut butter and jelly? Asked Elmo. That's Elmo's favorite. No, said Oscar. I have chocolate and tuna fish, sardine and garlic, and eggplant and prune. Yuck, said the 5 witches. What's the matter, said Oscar. I thought witches would like sandwiches for a treat. I guess this time the trick is on us, said Zoe. Happy Halloween, Oscar, said the witches, and off they went. The end. Happy Halloween. Now let's get back to our slides over here. What was your prediction about this book? And were you right? Was this book about a group of witches going trick-or-treating? Was it about Sesame Street and getting candy? Some of things were right? So if you got your prediction right, good for you for using your clues. Now, what do you think the main idea is? Do you think the main idea of this book is about some snakes called Ted? No, there were no snakes named Ted. Is it about Sesame Street, but they're going on a picnic? No, not at all. The main idea of this story, pause me if you have your own guess. There you go. The main idea of this story would be that the trick-or-treaters dressed up and tried to trick their friends. Remember, the big trick was, can you tell which friend is which? Which is which? That's the big main idea, isn't it? Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the details, okay? Can you think of 3 or 4 details from this book that you remember? Okay, good work. Now, I wonder, could you draw a couple of these things? Sometimes that helps me remember all of those details. Some details that I remember is I remember that they all dressed up as witches. I remember that they tricked some people on Halloween because they couldn't guess which witch was which. I also remembered that Oscar the Grouch, he could tell the difference between all these witches, couldn't he? And here's the last thing. They did not want Oscar's treats. They thought that they were a little yucky. So I wonder if you found some of those details. My friends, thank you for working with me on our ELA lessons, for reading, predicting, finding a main idea, and identifying details. Good work.